Welcome to Mom Badge Podcast. Here we celebrate the many badges we as moms earn every day. Today's mom badge is I kept a mom friend. Why is it so hard to make mom friends?
That's the $1,000,000 question, I think. I haven't met a mom who hasn't had a hard time making a mom friend. Have you?
No, not at all. And I actually asked my friend today, I was like, hey, we're going to do this podcast about friends. And she was like, man, making friends is like dating. And I hadn't thought about it like that. And I was
Yes.
so grateful for her that she brought it up like that. And yeah, because, your kids kind of have to be the same age,
Yes.
and then your kids also have to get along. But not just you two have to get along, but your kids have to get along. And I think we've all gotten into a situation where and it's almost
Yes.
like a unicorn situation that you find
Mm-hmm.
the kids get along and play really well together so that you can sit down and have your lunch with your friend, you know? So
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why it's so hard to keep mom friends, because it's just sometimes it's a unicorn. You just can't find it.
So I feel like we as a society have gotten away from community.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Do you feel like it could be harder because we're afraid of being judged or that we have been judged to even go and talk to another mom?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like if you're at the park and your kids are playing really well with that kid, and then you see the mom and you're like, I should go talk to her so that our kids can play together. But you just don't want to go out on that limb, you know?
Yeah, that limb's scary. Putting yourself out there is a true act of courage and bravery.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because you're vulnerable, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you've got to take off your shell. And sometimes underneath that shell is just a squishy snail.
Yeah, it's true. I even get
Yeah,
hurt if somebody unfriends me on Facebook, even if they weren't really a good friend.
totally. But I still get offended when people unfriend me.
It's okay. Maybe she's downsizing, and you know what? That's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, because it is okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just outside talking to my neighbor, and a snow cone truck came up. So, my next door neighbor, she's super cool, and she actually scheduled it to come to our neighborhood because she's cool like that. And so, we called our mutual friend, and
Wait, just a second. You can schedule things like
you can
that?
schedule things like that. Yes. So, and it's so much fun. Like, all the kids got a snow cone, and it was just so much fun. It was a blast. So, we invited our mutual friend, and I was outside talking with my neighbor's mom, and we were having a good time. And then my friend showed up with her baby, and it was really hot. And so I was like, well,
Mm.
let's just go inside my house. And I kind of left my neighbor in the dust, and I feel so bad about it. And I'm like, I didn't mean to be like, oh, here's something new and shiny, and I'm going to go with that. It's just
Sure.
I was worried about her baby and getting him into the cool and things like that. So I feel so guilty about it, and I think I just need to send her a text and be like, I am so sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
I bet you she doesn't even think about it.
Well, I don't know why. It's because I overthink things, apparently. And I think that's one of the problems of keeping friends is you overthink things,
Yes.
you
Oh,
know?
for sure. I've sabotaged myself.
Oh gosh. Are you going to share the story, Tiff? I think this is a story we're sharing. It's worth
Okay.
sharing.
It's a safe place.
This is a safe place. Yeah.
I think it's happened to everybody, though.
Yeah.
Me and my husband had just moved to a new state, a new town. We actually just bought our first house, and we met another mom and dad who moved to the same state, the same city, from a different state as well. And so we clicked because we had something in common.
Mhm.
And our daughters were in the same class at school, and that's actually where we met, was at the school. And we'd always say hi to each other. And then when New Year's was coming up, she texted me and she's like, hey, what are your plans for New Year's? And I'm like, actually, we have no plans. My husband at the time worked nights and wasn't going to get home till 10:30.
Mhm.
So we made arrangements for us to go to their house for a game night as soon as my husband came home. And I'm super excited. We get along. Our kids are in the same class. They like
Mhm.
to play with each other. It's gonna be great. We pull into the parking lot of their house and we park. And before we even got to the door, you know that sound your stomach makes?
Oh no.
It happened. It was this low grumble gurgle,
Oh no.
and
Oh
I'm like,
no.
It will be fine. I happen to have like two, what are they called? Oh my gosh. Pepto-Bismol pills. That's what they were. I had two Pepto-Bismol pills. So I'm like choking them down because I had no water. And so then I have like this like moment at the door of their house. So I look like I'm gagging, and it kind of like settles a little bit. And they had like all these delicious foods. Her house, no joke, looked like a magazine.
Oh, yes.
And my stomach calms down. And so we start playing games. And we're all at the table playing it. And all of a sudden, I break out into sweats.
Oh no.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my gosh, please don't notice. Please don't notice me. Please don't notice me. And we get through the game, and we have 15 minutes until midnight.
Oh no.
And I stand up, and I hear the gurgle again.
Oh no. Oh
So
no.
Rachel knows this about me, but what you guys don't know is I have a very big thing with going to the bathroom in other people's houses. I try to avoid it at all costs. Me and Rachel and our families vacation every year together, and I would wait till everybody left to go to the bathroom. I'm not even joking. I have a thing because some boys heard me tinkle once at a retreat, and
It scarred you for life.
it really did.
Yeah.
Like, I have to feel uber comfortable. Uber comfortable to use the bathroom. At the last school I worked at, I had the same problem, and I wouldn't use it because people knew me. So at like this point, the hostess, she was so sweet, noticed the cold sweats. She probably heard the little gurgle in my stomach. I'm out of Pepto-Bismol pills, and she's like, if anybody needs to use the restroom, there's one in the basement. And I'm like, well, I don't really have to go, but maybe just so,
Just
you know,
in case.
just
Yeah.
in case.
Yeah, it's a long drive home.
And I go downstairs, and all I can say is the New Year's Eve fireworks had nothing
Oh, on the explosions in that
on the
bathroom.
explosions.
Oh my gosh.
I wrecked that toilet.
Oh,
I
no.
can't even
Oh,
tell you.
no.
Like, and I'm like sitting there, and I cleaned it afterwards even, because I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I can't.
Yeah, yeah.
What if they come down here and they know I was here? Because I mean,
Yes.
how could you not?
Yes.
It triggered a super anxiety attack. That's all I can.
Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
it was
Mhm.
terrible. And the only reason I can talk about it now is it was 5 years ago. So,
Yeah.
but she was super nice. She was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." Totally lied.
Yeah.
And I got up there 30 seconds to spare.
Yeah.
Gave my kisses to my husband and child, and turned to the host and said, "Thank you so much for having us. This is great." And we booked it. She like wanted to do dinner again, and I was so embarrassed that I
You couldn't do it again.
canceled it.
Yeah.
And who knows, we could have been really good friends, but
Yeah.
I let one moment define our friendship.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate for me, but I've learned a lot, because if she was bothered by that, she probably wouldn't have called me.
Yeah, totally.
And
Yeah.
Oh dear. The things that go on in our minds, I think, are our greatest enemies sometimes.
Oh, totally. We're our own worst enemies, especially with friends, too.
But, I've learned a lot from that, and hopefully I'm a better friend now. I feel like I've maintained more relationships since then.
Yeah.
I'd like to invite all you guys, all you moms out there, to join me and Rachel as we go down what we're calling the mom internet rabbit hole.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ooh, perfect. This is where Rachel and I find interesting news stories, mom hacks, or just things that make us giggle as we try to surprise each other and you with what we found.
So, a poll said that 1,254 adults age 18 and older found that 27% of millennials have no close friends, and 25% have no acquaintances, and 22%, or 1 in 5, have no buddies at all.
You guys, this is a problem.
So, and that was on New York Times. This is from New York Times. I mean, it's not like a super huge statistic. Like it didn't like take a poll of
Uh-huh.
a lot of people. But I
Yeah.
mean, like millennials, those are mothers. You know, we are the mothers. That's millennials right now. And
Yeah.
I think that this is really sad. You know, 27%, that's a lot, you
I feel
know?
like this is a crisis. We
Yeah.
need that human contact. I'm really glad we're addressing this because I know it's not just us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I know it. That just blows my mind. Those statistics, that's crazy.
Well, and it just hurts my heart for these wonderful women that
Yes.
we could be friends with, you know?
Mhm.
And truly, like, gladly, if somebody came up to me at the park and just started chatting, I would be so happy to chat with them,
Yes,
you
wouldn't
know?
that just make your day?
I think maybe next time, like, if we just walked up to somebody at the park as our kids are playing and we just said hi, you know,
Yes.
had like a mommy
Yes.
pickup line, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I found two websites with mommy pickup lines on it.
Oh, sweet.
I'm going to pick up Rachel. I'm going to
Oh,
pick you up. All right. So our kids are playing and you bring out the snack.
ooh, ooh. Do I bring snacks to the park? Is that You don't realize I run a tight shipwreck. I'm telling you. Like I'm the one that's like, "Oh, do you have water because I never bring it for my kids."
I'm usually the mom that has the water.
Yeah,
So,
you're the one that like brings the snacks. So, okay, let's pretend like I brought snacks that week. Okay, that's
okay.
this is good. Yeah.
So I'm just going to walk over to you and say, "Do you have any raisins?
No.
How about a mom date?"
What? I think if a stranger walked up to me and said that, I would be like, "Okay, we're going to leave now."
These ones are so great. I have another one. I have another one.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
All right. So I see Rachel and she just looks exhausted. She has that new baby number 4 with her,
Mhm.
who's almost 9 months. I go, "Do I look as tired as I feel?" Because I feel like Sleeping Beauty, the princess my daughter was obsessed with for approximately 2 seconds, has nothing on me.
Yeah, totally. I totally feel that way. Come and sit down with me and let's drink some juice boxes together.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
that we turned the snacks for the kids for us.
Oh, yeah, I don't bring snacks for my kids. They're all for me.
Here's one for the Pinterest moms out there who look amazing. Are you Wonder Woman? Because I've been wondering how you look so put together, woman.
Oh, totally. I'd be I'd say, "Oh, it's a facade. Come and sit down. Let's share a cookie."
It's perfect. These are just so much fun, and I will pin these on our Pinterest board. But there's a lot you can do when you're meeting a mom.
Totally.
What do you say when you're seeing somebody out there that you can just relate to? Because I think that's the easiest person you can go talk to at this moment.
Mhm. Well, yeah, I mean, already you have something in common. You have children that are the same age, you know, and they're
Yes.
playing. And even if you like your kids are a little bit older or younger, like just that mom connection, no matter what the no matter what type of self-isolating labels we give ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
we all are mothers, and that automatically connects us to each other. And
Yeah.
so like I think if we like think of each other like that, like this is potentially my next best friend, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that we can start making these friends and these connections. And so we actually asked our Instagram community, which is how many people this week?
Oh, 118 and
What? What? What?
counting. Hey.
Woohoo! So 118 and one answered, and we asked, you know, how do you make friends? What did she answer?
It was actually Latchkey Mama, and she said Facebook friends.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's great. Like if you meet people through Facebook groups.
Well, and you know what's great about Facebook is you don't have to necessarily go through the mom groups. You
Mhm.
can find
Mhm.
your own little niche.
Yeah.
I belong to a bullet journaling group.
Oh, dang. Yeah, so Facebook groups is great. I know that our library has a book club that you can join if you're into that.
Oh.
So I mean, I think if we just like look out within our community that there are all of these women that we can meet with. And of course, like if you're in PTO, there's lots of women you can meet through PTO and
Yes.
potentially be really good friends with, even though some are a little bit nuts, and that's okay. We are all
Oh,
nuts at least once in our life,
you know
right?
what? They make us interesting.
It's true. It's true. That nuttiness, it keeps us interesting. So I feel like there are ways we can make it so that other people aren't so lonely, you know?
Yes.
And if we
Mm-hmm.
ourselves are feeling lonely, then it's okay to reach out and to meet people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just takes a little bit. It just
Mhm.
takes a little bit. These are my tips to making mom friends.
Oh yeah, let's hear them.
Maybe they'll work for you. I know they've worked for me in the past. My first tip is going to be speak up. You see a mom like we were talking earlier,
Mhm.
go and talk to her. It only takes 10 seconds of bravery. Anybody can do anything for 10 seconds. I can do a plank for 10 seconds.
Totally.
You know,
Totally.
you can do this. You have it within you. You guys are strong, amazing women.
Mhm.
You guys can take that 10 seconds of bravery. Our
Mhm.
kids show us it every day.
Yeah, they just like walk up to other kids and they're like, "Hey, do you want to be friends?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then
Yeah.
they walk in and they're like, number 4 will be like, "Mom, that's my best friend." And I'm like, "What's his name?" And he's like, "I don't know." So, yeah, let's be more like kids, and let's just
Yes.
make friends.
Learn from them, watch them. All right, so my second one is follow through.
Mhm.
I feel like this is the most important tip because it's really easy to say, oh, let's go out sometime. But if you don't follow through, then that's probably not going to happen.
Mhm.
And if you're thinking, I'm waiting for them to call me, how do you not know they're not thinking they're waiting for you to call them?
Yes. Yes.
Great if they call you first, but take that first step. You guys have already connected.
Mhm.
You've already taken that little step of bravery. Now take it a step further and send out a text. Say, hey, how about nap time my house?
Totally. Or you could even like make it like somewhere a little bit more neutral. Like,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, let's go to Chick-fil-A and grab lunch." And get like a another place like, "Hey, we're going to go to the park today." You know, do you want to
Mm-hmm.
meet up? I would love to see you,
Yes.
and yeah, yeah.
So then after you have your like first mommy date, after you followed through,
Hmm.
you need to follow up.
Oh, see, like I said, it's like dating.
It
Hmm.
is like dating.
Hmm.
And it can be simple. It could even be like, hey, remember when we talked about funny mom memes and you send her a meme?
Oh, yeah.
Or ask her how her day is going.
Hmm.
And just start developing that relationship so you can get to tip number 4,
Hmm. Tip number 4.
which is nourish.
Hmm.
You need to nourish your relationship. Being a mom friend is just like every other relationship in your life,
Hmm.
whether it be your husband, your in laws, your children.
Hmm.
You have to nourish it. You have to show interest in them so that they can show interest in you.
Hmm. Just like you have to prune and fertilize a tree, you have to prune and fertilize your friendship.
It's true. When your friends know that you're invested in them,
Hmm.
then they're going to become more invested in you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Have you ever been the friend who's been the more invested person?
Yeah.
It's tiring.
Sometimes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's true though. Like I feel like some people that I've just put a little bit of effort into, they have become some of my dearest friends. And
Yes. Well, it's just important. You know, you want to
mhm.
know that people are interested in what you're doing. They want to be interested in what you have to say.
Mhm.
I can't tell you how many times I've been on the phone with a person who just talks and talks and talks and talks, and then when it's my turn, they have to go. But if you're not having that give and take relationship, it's okay to walk away from it.
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
because we want mom friends doesn't mean we want toxic mom friends.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think that's important to recognize that it's okay to walk away.
Well, and being lonely is not a good enough excuse to have a toxic relationship in your life.
Mm-mm.
So I mean that is so true. Sometimes you just kind of have to cut it,
Yeah.
and just say, I'm going to take a break for a little bit. And it doesn't have to be for a long time,
It doesn't have to get nasty.
and it doesn't have to get nasty. And there are ways of being graceful and tactful
Mm-hmm.
about certain things, and we don't have to get into it here, but because there are probably way more qualified people than we are.
Just our life experience. That's all we have to offer.
Yeah, this is our life experience. There is ways of being tactful and graceful, but I really agree with Tiffany that toxic relationships are not okay.
No.
And if you end up meeting that person and you put a little bit of effort into them and you're like, whoa, this is getting a little much, it's
Back
okay.
off.
It's okay to walk
Yeah,
away,
it's
and yeah, it's okay for that.
yeah,
So,
it totally is. And actually, I think when we do that as women, we're showing
mhm.
our kids that it's okay for them
Oh,
to back
yeah.
off from toxic relationships. I know
Mhm.
we've talked in the past about my child. It was really important for me to show her that it's okay to be like, you know what, you're just not a good friend for me right now.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be nice and just say, not today.
Yeah.
Mentally, if you can't do it, you can't do it.
Yeah. Tiff and I, you will come to find out, we are giant advocates of let's see
Yeah.
therapist. And if you're feeling like you need that in your life, please go get help. And the most important thing is we need to be strong for our children. So, I mean, if you have that friend or someone, in your life that is making it so you can't be mentally
Yes.
present for your children, it's not okay.
You guys are going to do great out there. Go make some friends.
Go out and make some friends. You never know who could be your next best friend. So go out there and make someone happy and keep yourself happy and healthy. Also, don't forget to tell your friends, hit the subscribe button, and leave a review so other fantastic moms just like you can find our podcast too.
So, moms, as we leave you this week, hold your cookie dough high.
And wear those mom badges proud as we salute you and all the hard work you do.
Be sure to come back next week on Mom Badge Podcast.
And find out what badge you've earned.
This week we earned I Kept a Mom Friend. Yes.
What? Yay!
And we'll always be here for you at Mom Badge Podcast.